Now, the main event of the evening, which again is that rematch between Wonderboy and Woodley, it's going to be an interesting fight. So, as we had mentioned before, the first fight, Tyron Woodley won 2 rounds, but he won them very decisively. Wonderboy won the other 3, but he won them just kind of by outpointing Tyron Woodley. After the first round, when he got taken down, he really backed off on his kicks. And a big question for this fight is going to be, on Woodley's end, is he going to start looking for more takedowns? He didn't really go for too many takedowns after the first round of the first fight. And then for Wonderboy, is he going to use the kicks as a weapon and risk getting taken down, but use them so he has an extra weapon at his disposal, which will also help him keep the range? Now, again, in the past for Tyron Woodley, some of the fights he's had trouble with, he'll back up against the fence, he'll wait for his opportunities, and a lot of times he'll wait for a very long time. That happened in his loss to Rory McDonald, which is very memorable. And in a way, it was happening with Thompson, but he was still striking with him. But the problem that Thompson had is that after the first round, he didn't throw very many kicks. He wasn't very aggressive with him. So he was trying to box Woodley, and by doing that, he cut his range down a little bit, and that ended up getting him caught in the 4th round. So if you're Tyron Woodley and you're saying, okay, this time around, I've got to get the win. I want to win it decisively. We're not going to a draw. What do? I think for him, the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to shoot him for more takedowns. So one of the things that was happening a lot in the first round that made it difficult for him to do so is he had his back against the fence. So Wonderboy had the free space. If you shoot him when the guy's got free space, it's a lot easier for him to get away, whereas when you're against the fence, I'd look for Woodley to try to dominate the center more and use his right hand to kind of control space and get Wonderboy to back down. Wonderboy's already felt that right hand. Obviously, he nearly got finished by it. If Woodley can come out aggressive and kind of use that in his favor, get a takedown and start working up top, that's going to be a very good opportunity for him because he's very strong on top. You saw in the first round of the last fight, Wonderboy wasn't able to do much other than just kind of hold him there, play very defensively. He wasn't attacking. He obviously wasn't even able to get back to his feet. If Woodley can take him down and get that concern of the takedown in early, that's going to be huge. It was huge in the last fight, and again, you have to start this fight off by getting Wonderboy concerned about the takedown. For Wonderboy, again, it's going to be difficult. You don't want to get too aggressive with your kicks and give up a takedown or give away something easy because then you're going to be in trouble. But at the same point, if you're just going to try to outpoint Woodley for 5 rounds, that's a dangerous game to play. It's a game he almost won the last time, so it's not like it's one he can't win, but you're going to take a lot of shots. You might not be able to land your shot, and you don't want to lose a close fight and then go back and think to yourself, I had to draw the first time. The second time around, I wasn't aggressive enough. I didn't go for my shots. And now, if you're Wonderboy, you lose this fight, where do you go from here? You probably have to win a few more fights. You hope that Woodley gets knocked off by somebody and you can fight whoever beats Woodley for the title. But again, that's a weird limbo to be in. You never want to have 2 losses to a champion. A draw and a loss isn't a whole lot better. So that's going to be a concern for Woodley. Or for Wonderboy, I should say. Now, the surprising thing about this is if you watch the first fight again, the biggest shots, the most meaningful shots of the fight were struck in by Woodley. Woodley's an underdog in this fight. He's a plus 123 underdog in this fight. That's very surprising to me. I think if you're betting, that's going to be probably going to be the easiest, most likely underdog of the night. Obviously, Wonderboy's not going to be an easy guy to get by. Woodley can get caught. He has gotten caught in the past. Nate Marquardt, obviously that fight was a while ago, but it can happen. He's been finished. But we've seen this fight. We've seen it recently. Wonderboy wasn't able to beat him then. And a lot of times with guys who have tricky styles, this was especially the case with Machida versus Shogun, if you'd remember that fight. The first fight will be close, but then after you've kind of had a feel for what that guy brings to the table, the next fight isn't as close. So Woodley's done a good job of training with guys like Sage Northcutt. He's brought in other karate guys who can mimic Woodley's style. That helped him a lot in the first fight. But now he's got 5 rounds under his belt against Wonderboy, and that's only going to help him even more. So I would have to imagine that if I'm going to pick a winner in this fight, I'm picking Woodley. And with him being an underdog, I think that's a great opportunity to make money on the night. So then to Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, he's a minus 143 favorite, which again, for how the odds work, that means you put down $143, you win back 100. It's understandable because again, like I said in the last fight, if you say, hey, this fight went to decision, who do you think won? Generally, that's a safe way to bet on the fight, and we saw in the last fight, if this fight goes to decision, there's a good chance that Wonderboy is outpointing him in a lot of these rounds. But I mean, it's going to be so difficult for him to come back. He's not going to be able to surprise Woodley with a lot of the stuff he was the first time. And with that being the problem, I just don't see him winning this fight. He's obviously got the weapons to do so, but if you have to pick one, you've got to pick Woodley in this fight, and especially with him being an underdog, that's probably one of the better bets you can make tonight. Or not tonight, but for the UFC 209.